different. You know I give in. Been waiting so long to feel it. All of these years I've been listening. All you also know, do you still pretend? We felt the sunshine, we found the gold. We thought we'd be forever young, but now I know we can't keep floating, we have to fall. This is the beat of broken hearts. Is it all lost? We can't go on again, 'cause you seem like you want it bad. My head is spinning off the edge, and I'm giving in way too fast, way too fast. Caught up in the flashing light, keeps it dead in my mind, leading me on like it's whatever. We could go on, but we should know better. We can't go on again, 'cause you seem like you want it bad. My head is spinning off the edge, and I'm giving in way too fast, way too fast. We can't go on again, 'cause you seem like you want it bad. My head is spinning off the edge, and I'm giving
Hello,
in way
guys.
too fast, way too fast.
How are you? Hi, Sturg and Craig. You guys probably haven't watched any of this, have you? Alright. Why is my camera so off position? There we go. Alright. And my microphone's being crazy. I've got shit breaking. Alright. Let us see here. This looks like it was my most recent save. We're gonna pop back in here. So if you don't know about what this is a visual novel that I've been playing for a while. Almost as far back as when I first started my channel. It's really interesting. If you get a chance, go back and watch it from the beginning. You should. Alright. We're playing Ashton. We've got some journal entries here, which I'm not going to read unless I absolutely have to, because it's basically just a recap. And if you need a recap, you should go back and watch my stuff. Yes, I shaved my head. I had to. Alright. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxborn and heading straight for Ansem Village. In the distance, flashes of lightning light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble seconds later, echoing long across the sky. And with one last roar, the skies open up in earnest. Because, well, we can discuss that at another time. The rainfall in fast, steady sheets, okay, creating shallow puddles of the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Despite having grown up in this city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it. Lucky me, I've reached the mansion before the downpour has turned torrential. The long slog from Ansem Village by foot has already been made difficult by the light drizzle and biting winds buffeting against my body every few seconds. By the time I've found cover under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders are already drenched. My hair is also sticking against my skin and out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter taser, and gun I brought with me has remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. Sometimes, after the housewarming party, scumbag Wright has suddenly grown a brain and tightened the security around the mansion. A guard is now stationed in every possible point of entry, the main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Hell, it's almost a miracle no one has spotted me once I entered the property, although that's probably because I've kept close to the forest. While I can always create a clever way in for myself, under this deluge it'll be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
No, you don't. Considering how off this place feels since I've stepped into the property and the mansion came into view. Every light is off, even with the security personnel on patrol outside. The whole house itself, it feels empty, eerie, too quiet. Normally, I'll pass it off as some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not a far-off conclusion when this place is almost in the middle of nowhere. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
Something happened here, indeed. Or about to. It's the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet. Simply observing, watching, listening for anything. I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. Although I need a way in, desperately so, moving without thinking will not only endanger me. I didn't read right. Or I didn't read it right. With so many unknown variables and what we're dealing with, I also have to act on an assumption that someone is always in danger, especially in this place. I can't act impulsively. As much as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. One thoughtful action. Yeah, that's right. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in a prison, not a morgue. Oh God, it's the Grudge Lady. Why does it sound so naughty? So when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of rain, only then do I stir. A woman, perhaps a servant, or worse, Hannah Wright. It's coming from the forest? Just right up ahead, in fact, not too far from the house. Regardless, I give the place a quick, wary glance before following the noise. Why would you follow that? That's like a horrible noise. It's like death calling for you, because we know what can only be out in the woods. Carefully keeping to the shadows, one cautious step after another. Louder and louder it gets as I near. Woo! Until it abruptly turns into a loud, desperate, anguished cry. I break into a run. One nervous hand ready on the gun holstered at my hip and the other raised to balance as I scurry across the dense understory. Dead leaves crunch under my shoes, but I pay it no mind. There's only the voice, the woman, and nothing. Abruptly, it all stops and I'm met with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stillness, even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeats against my ears. Behind me, another branch breaks and...
Help me.
No, thank you. I don't want to help you. Dread surges within me while I spin around and take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinpricks crawling at the back of my neck. But before I can even meet her eye, the world unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting till the ground beneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purpose, only to meet air. By then, it's too late. My foot slips further and the rest of my body follows. Oh God. Dark spots blur the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. But more than that are the voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride. Over. It's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. Why won't you believe me? A reminder of what I've failed to do and who I've failed. what I'm trying to desperately fix. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off. Ever so slowly, a chill seeps into every nerve in my body, washing away every sensation in me, apart from one. There is only fear. I don't like her. Once again, her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Oh. Do we just warp to a different place? Half darkness greets me when my eyes finally snap open, the soft patter of dripping water somewhere spurring my consciousness further. For a few short moments, I remain still, blinking away the dizziness, allowing my vision to adjust to the lack of light and my breathing to even out first, before pushing myself up on one arm and attempting to stand. Turning alone is a struggle on its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right up my arms and my back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. Fuck.
We don't even know what happened. We blacked out and we're here now. There doesn't seem to be any injury or major fracture, although the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from where I've skidded down prior to landing myself here. A comforting thought. The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. And by the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping in short, shallow breaths and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, a light draft blows in from where I've fallen, coming in short, sharp bursts into what's apparently an underground tunnel, and brings in the fresh, earthly smell of the rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musty scent of the place. A mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctively foul. Like death. More worrisome than putrid, festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside of some of them, but I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment. Or delve. I don't know how to talk. So, yeah, for the reason I shave my head, honestly, is I may have skin cancer on my head in a couple spots. That's what they're checking out. That's kind of why I've been kind of slow at doing videos. I got a lot of stress on that behalf, so that's why that is. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, somehow no matter how unexpected finding the existence of this place is, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
Probably not, unless he's already the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out of the first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea of what has occurred in this place years ago makes me reel as well. I've known long ago, places like this tend to hold secrets. All old mansions like that have secrets. That's what makes them fun. This, though, if this is just the tip of the iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind that fucking letter. But fear's inconsequential. As unpleasant as the sight of this is, this might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
We know it won't be, Ashton. Turns out that alone is too much to ask for this early. No 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises from my footfalls, rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel before fading away just as swiftly as it rang. I pause, nevertheless, straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually move my hand to my side, slow and steady until the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long moment I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, slow exhale that reverberates around the whole passage.
Who's there?
Perhaps it's because of what happened earlier and how I've ended up here, or maybe it's because of my training. Excuse me. But in spite of the panic and fear in that voice, I don't immediately answer. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw closer to where the voice rings out once again. Afraid, frantic, weak.
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
Oh, isn't that, the renovation lady? Marianne. It's only after I've released the safety do I answer, while continuing my approach in a careful, steady pace.
I think I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself.
I can't. I'm stuck in here.
Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that, or have a conversation like this, or be stuck anywhere. And as if to prove her point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips the iron bars, and rattles it lightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell, and sure enough, a woman's inside. Slumped on the floor, holding the bars with shaking hands, clinging to it as if it's the only thing keeping her upright. And so... Okay, I got questions. And I know it's just the artwork of the game, but why is there a skull in there? Why are there torches burning if nobody's been down here? Like the Wrights haven't found this place or anything like that. It's my question. Weird. Because, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it be. Did I skip that part? Oh, well, I don't remember. And not just any woman.
You?
You?
McLaughlin?
McLaughlin. The same one I met at G's 5 days ago, smashed drunk and babbling her frustrations about her employers.
Holmes?
No, not McLaughlin. McCullough. Marianne McCullough, famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks, trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing shallows, and there's a paleness to her complexion. Sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all signs pointing to starvation and dehydration. So, at this point, how long has she been down here that we found her? Because, oops, when we were playing her, it just left off, so we don't know how long she's been down here. So, is it days after? I don't know if we look at our journal, if it maybe will tell us. I don't think it will. Excuse me. Maybe timeline. No, it doesn't tell us.
What? How long have you been stuck in here?
I guess I could have just went on forward and I probably would have learned.
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore.
Wow.
I just fell in and that woman... Whatever. Can you get me out of here? Please.
In a moment. But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
I fished out an energy bar from my pocket and handed it to her. She's lucky I always have one on my person. For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts, a little sugar to keep me going. Like any starving person, she wastes no time in making a grab for it, unwrapping it straight away, and taking in the whole mouthfuls of it. Relief washes over her face out in the first bite alone, although she's going to need more than that if what she said is true. But for the moment, it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have the sense to prioritize survival over comfort, if the puddle on the corner of the cell indicates anything. Without water, the human body can only survive 3 days. No food, and I'll give it an average of 3 weeks, even though then, it won't be a pretty experience. Granted, some have survived longer than that. She's still fortunate I found her when I did. Now to get her out. My bobby pins won't be any use here, not like I need it. Unlike the other ones we have at the precinct, a simple barrel hinge holds the gates gate to the cell together. So he's going to pop the hinges on the gate and just basically take the door off, I think. Even without any special tools, I'll be able to lift the door and free her. Yep. However, with how heavy it seems, I'll need a lever of some sort to help.
What are you looking for?
Some wood, a 2x4, I guess, a plank, or anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered about. While I may find something in one of the open cells, I'm reluctant to check or even step in. We can't have another person trapped in here. However, McCullough ended up inside.
Well, there's no.
My head snaps back to her. McCullough what are those called? Not guillotine, but what they like lock you in for days with your arms and your head. I can't remember what those are called. Like medieval, I think. McCullough extricates a wooden board from under the mess of hay and twine near her. Without prompting, she slips it through what little space there is between the bars. In short, but appears thick and sturdy enough for my intended purpose upon closer inspection.
Good enough.
I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other end of the plank at the base of the door and applying ample force on the other end. It takes a bit of effort, no kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a grasp, and a creak. In a matter of minutes, with a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls on the ground with a loud, ugly, metallic thud, but the sound of it puts elation on McCullough's face. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she has accidentally found herself in. Yeah, I don't remember, Greg. It's right on the tip of my tongue. More than happy to get out of it, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you. Thank you so much. After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there. If you didn't show up, today, I don't even want to think about it.
How did you even end up here?
For a second, she appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
I was looking for something.
The grudge lady.
Someone.
The grudge lady. Pretending to be your ex-girlfriend. A contemplative expression flickers in her eyes. Something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. It doesn't last too long, but it still leaves me the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private. Something deeply personal for her. I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
It does.
The wine cellar.
The wine cellar. Oh. Right into the kitchen then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry.
Yeah, you were.
And I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Oh, there it is. Sometimes this game is missing the voice files for some of the things. I think they accidentally missed them.
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here. People died in this place. Kids. Oh, God. Kids.
So, yeah, if it's not on the floor plans, that's why the skulls and stuff are still here, I'm assuming.
I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore. It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there?
Hey, Curious, how are you?
But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
I really think Asian guys are hot. Just saying.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me.
She won't leave me.
But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
Yeah, right.
McCullough, one at a time.
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh, God. Oh, God!
Haven't seen you for a while, Curious. Oh, it's gonna make me save.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer.
I think we've already stayed past our welcome.
McCullough!
Abruptly, she stops, looks back at me with wild, panic-stricken eyes. I've seen enough of it so many times these past few days, from my own friends even, to know she has seen things, the kind that'll easily make any person go mad. And perhaps we slowly are. The longer this takes, the faster our descent into it becomes. I can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up with, there'll be something horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me.
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet?
Oh, I'm far into madness.
An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not. He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this? And what about his wife?
It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me, only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always leave afterwards, but be done with this whole damn mansion and letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest, and the grudge lady waiting for us. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. Yeah, it kind of does look like McCoff. All the same, she stills herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.
She nods, albeit weakly. And without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Occasionally, she'll stop, find a purchase on the wall to catch her breath, but throughout the short walk, she asks for neither a break nor assistance. I suppose that's something we have in common. Eventually, we get to a dead end. Although before I can question her on it, she begins palming for something on the wall, tracing her fingers along the weathered edges of the bricks with a frown on her face.
It should be somewhere here, I think.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds up a hand, begging for my silence as she continues searching. Then, without warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts ajar to reveal a glimpse of another room. Bottles lining the walls, liquor barrels for aging. The wine cellar indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Surreal. This is all nothing but a surreal nightmare. But after everything, should this even be a surprise for me? Ghost curse hidden passages? I can't even bring myself to question the existence of this door anymore. I simply follow her to the undercroft without a single question, in spite of a number of them already swimming around in my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mysteries and detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now I simply want this to be over. We leave the door open in case there's a need for a quick exit, especially after she mentions it only by chance that she's been able to open the door last time. We can't waste time finding the switch again on the occasion something goes horribly wrong. There's bound to be, with me feeling this high-strung and tense. I'm not even sure why I thought this will be a good idea to enlist McCullough's help. Although she has been quite helpful so far, I can't shake off the horrible feeling something's going to happen to her if she stays with me, because it probably will, because the grudge lady's a bitch. Even if I'm her safest bet, if she wants to get out of this place alive.
You really believe that, don't you?
Uh-oh.
Did you say something?
McCullough pauses mid-step, turning to me confused.
I didn't.
You sure? I just heard...
Don't you think I'll be the first person who will know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. You might want to hurry. I just want to be done with this place.
Yeah, I can do it. She's probably gonna die. Yeah, she probably is gonna die. That's probably a good assumption.
See? You dragged another one.
This time, I'm sure. There's really a voice, well, voices. Despite the look of protest McCullough shoots me, I find myself stopping and looking for it, searching the immediate surrounding for the familiar form of this woman. I don't even have to venture far from it where I'm standing. Just an arm length away from me, mirror shards litter the floor. and right on the biggest fragments, they speak, all singing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting it echo throughout the small undercroft. Murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, deriding, lacing venom into every crevice in my head, taunting me.
Get another person into this, Ashton.
So that sounded like Isabella.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
Ooh.
All because you can't fix them on your own.
Ooh.
You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
My mistake lies in this first instance I've answered. The very second denial has slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to prod and rouse my temper. Despite knowing they are merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable trickle into me, spurring the guilt I've hoped I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time?
Shut up.
Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps?
Shh. Just hush.
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder, to know you're responsible for all of this?
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late. And you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a fairy, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
Shut up.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together. No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. Some son you are.
Ooh, they're just prodding at us.
You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
I hate this. I hate how this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity it knows. To hear it said in my friend's voice, even more so. But what I hate above all of this is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
Ooh.
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
Me.
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
Oh, watch me.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore.
In the end, your own incompetence will eventually lead to the deaths of everyone you care about.
It laughs, sharp and piercing, and its sound, something in me snaps. A rage hastily unfurling, red filling my vision. And the next thing I know, I'm raising my hand and something grabs at my wrist, followed by a buzz as another voice breaks through the haze.
Don't listen to it!
The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses. All at once, there is a deafening silence. Slowly, I become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, and the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and a hand holding onto my wrist as if to keep me from hurting myself. In my hands, a shard, a blood drips where it has cut into my palm, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even. There is a pain, however, a different kind, an ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but where every single word has hit. When I glance up at McCullough, she merely stares at me with her wide, horrified eyes.
Don't listen to it. No matter what happens, don't do what it says.
Yep.
It's how it gets us.
That's how it gets us. My grip on the shard falters, but only after I nod and drop it entirely does she release her grip. Afterward, she simply steps back and looks away. Hugging her arms closer to herself, she breathes a heavy sigh. perhaps weighted in her own guilt, what monster might have used against her. Sorry, my dogs.
Come on, we're getting close.
She walks off without another comment, but there's worry in her as she gives the fragments one last glimpse. On the ground, they lie lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults, but even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey. You aren't going to die.
Nah.
And you are going to die alone.
I don't think so. Sorry, guys. A fear. One that has been long kept in the darkest place of my heart. One that a small part of me wishes for. Alright, guys. I think I'm going to cut it here. I'm trying to get more active with my streams and uploads. I should have some uploads coming up here really soon. I've got some recorded. Noob just got them back to me from editing. So I should have some content going up. Make sure you sign up for Twitch, because that's where I'll be starting to do a lot of my streams at. Just since I'm a Twitch affiliate. So I think I should be really focused on some of that. And I still want to be focused on YouTube too, but because that's where I started. And I really want to build my YouTube channel. It's just, it's so hard to do now with so many other people doing it. It's a hard market to get noticed or get anywhere with. And it's not totally why I do it, because I have fun doing it and I love hanging out with you guys. But yeah, I would love to get somewhere with it. I mean, isn't that the dream? But yeah. So check out my Twitch channel. Check out my other videos. Make sure you like, share, tell your friends, tell everybody about it. Check out my clothing items I have on Teespring. The link's in the description below for that too. Yeah. So be nice to one another, and we'll meet in the next video. See you guys.